Hi, I'm Nush from Why Be Aligned, and for this week's Movement Monday, we're looking at the thoracic spine. The thoracic spine is the middle part of the spine here. It connects the neck to the lower back, and we will have looked at it briefly before when we looked at the rib cage, as it also connects onto your ribs. The thoracic spine is made up of 12 different vertebrae. Now, each of those vertebrae is able to move in 3 planes of motion. Sometimes, however, what we find in our spine is that one vertebrae will be stuck and it's either not moving well or it's moving too much, which will have an impact on the rest of the spine, be it that it has an impact on the whole thoracic area or perhaps has an impact on the neck area, which is our cervical spine, or the lumbar area, which is our lower back. But bear this in mind when we're looking at the movements, that we want each and every vertebrae within that thoracic area to be moving in these 3 planes of motion. The first movement we have is our side-on sagittal plane. So when the spine is coming forward, this is called flexion. And when it's going backwards and the front is opening, that's extension. It's not super obvious from this video, but what's happening in the spine is as it's tipping forward into that flexion, all the vertebrae start to open between each other at the back and close at the front. And when the spine is coming backwards and it's in that extension, the vertebrae are opening at the front and then closing at the back. The second movement in our frontal or front-on plane is this side bending, and that's called lateral flexion, and we can go right and left. You can see here in this video that as we tip one way, the vertebrae start to close on that side and open on the other. So it's giving all the joints a chance to open on one side. And then as we go the other way, that side will close and the other side will start to open up. And the third movement is in our transverse or twisty-turny plane, as I like to call it. And this is the rotation. So you can see here how the thoracic spine is able to rotate round to the left and right. This is probably my favorite one. When the spine is rotating, each vertebrae is able to rotate a little bit more than the one below. So you can see the spiny processes are sticking out at different angles, a bit like a spiral staircase. And this is how we get that rotation in our spine, not by moving all of the vertebrae together, but one at a time. So how do we get the thoracic spine to move well? The easiest way I find is to connect it to the movement of the rib cage. If we can move the rib cage well, then the thoracic spine will usually move well alongside it. I have a separate video that covers the rib cage, so do go into that video for more detail. But essentially we have a lifting and tipping backwards of our rib cage, and this gives us that opening at the front of the spine, so the extension. And then if we think about a real dipping down with our collarbones and with our center of our sternum here, if we come down like this, our rib cage is going to round and our spine, our thoracic spine, is going to round and flex. So this is how we're getting the opening now on the back of the body. So it's lifting to open the spine on the front of the body and then dropping down to round that spine at the back of the body. To get that lovely lateral flexion or side bend, you're going to take one arm, reach it down to the floor, and you're already starting to get a curve here in the lower part of the thoracic area. Your other arm then goes up in the air and we really reach up, and this is giving us that side bend or lateral flexion in the spine. If you want, you can allow your head to go off slightly just to really feel the extent, but it is better with these movements if we can keep our nose stacked up over our sternum, and we call this an on-axis movement. It just takes some of the pressure out of the body, and you'll want to switch to the other side so that you can get the side bend the other way, reaching as high as you can up towards the ceiling and as low as you can towards the floor. And to get that lovely rotation in the spine where each vertebrae is moving, you're going to take one arm forward, really reach that arm forward and let the other arm reach back. The important thing to do here is to keep your pelvis and your head facing straight ahead. And then it is just this thoracic part of the spine moving. If I let my whole body move together, then the spine won't be getting that rotation. So it's one arm forward, one arm backwards, reach forward and back, and keep that head and pelvis facing forward. And that is it for our thoracic spine. If you'd like to know more about the rib cage, pop back to that video, and you will also find videos on the lumbar spine below and the cervical spine or the neck. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on Movement Monday, and come along next week for the next installment of Movement Monday.